yeah. You're in the mix with DJ Alf 7.
Yo, what's up? Check it out, it's your boy DJ Alf 7, and today I have a very special guest from the Libertarian Party, but I'm going to let him introduce himself. Go ahead.
Hey guys, my name is Sam Robb. I'm literally just some guy from Pittsburgh. I got involved with the Libertarian Party a couple of years ago. When they tell you that anybody can grow up and run for president, I took that as a challenge, so I did. Did not get the nomination from the Libertarian Party, but ended up working as the state coordinator for Joe Jorgensen. And from there have spent some time, maybe about a year and a half or so, helping the Libertarian Party out as the Western Vice Chair for the state of Pennsylvania. So Ed got in touch with me and had some questions about what we've done recently in Pennsylvania as far as elections, and I told him I'd be happy to talk to him about it.
Yeah, actually, I'm joined the Libertarian Party. I'm actually a member, and I received their newsletter. And on the newsletter, there's actually a whole list of how many do you... Oh, it's got to be like over 200. I'm going to flash that on screen for a second, right? So the audience can see that. But, I mean, how many... over 200 candidates you guys got elected during this year, right?
This year, I think over 150. We had a bunch of folks that were previously serving, so I think we're over 200 total.
Yeah, that's a sick list right there. Now... But when you look at the list, something definitely stands out, right? Like there's 3 columns, but the whole middle column and like definitely large portions Pennsylvania. Holy crap! What'd you guys do over that? Like, it seems like you guys have a real significant presence in Pennsylvania, and that's honestly, Libertarians are the most successful third party in the nation for a while, for a long time. And what's the secret, man? How'd you guys do it?
The secret, honestly, is a lot of work, a lot of effort. I kind of came in at the tail end on things. For a couple of years, what's gone on in Pennsylvania has been the brainchild of Dr. Chuck Molten and a lady by the name of Jennifer Moore. Ms. Moore is our chair in the Pennsylvania Party right now. Really, it's a combination of
these are results, man. These are serious results. Go ahead. Serious. Give respect to these people. I want to get them on the channel too, for real. I need to find out what these people did. Keep going. Keep going.
It's really it's a matter of one, building the party, working hard to get people to join the Libertarian Party in Pennsylvania, to register as a Libertarian, and to be interested in what's going on here. So that, I mean, that's the first big part of that, and a lot of that credit goes to Kevin Gaugen, who's our executive director, has been for a couple of years. He's done a great job of building the party so that we have people that when election season rolls around, we have the opportunity to go to them and say, hey, we've got these races that we've identified that are winnable races, and not just the unique characteristic in Pennsylvania, what we call the Molten Maneuver, really isn't that secret of sauce. It's just a lot of hard work. What happens is after the Republican and Democratic primaries, there's a period of time during which third parties can get on the ballot by collecting signatures for their candidates. So basically what happens is after the Democrat and Republican primaries, we can spend some time trolling through a lot of data and basically identifying, hey, here is a race. For example, it might be an auditor race in a township. Here's an auditor race where neither a Republican nor a Democrat ran in the primaries. That means there's going to be no Republican or Democrat on the ticket.
What do you call that again? The Molten Maneuver?
The Molten Maneuver.
What's his full name? I'm going to put his face on the screen. Honestly, I respect that type of work. We got a guy named Theo Chino out here called something called Rep My Block. We actually looked up all the voter data information and made it open source for the candidates so that they don't have to rely on corporate campaign consultants or, and save themselves money and time. But it sounds like you guys already are doing something like that. Yo, I'll give props to that. This is what the press doesn't talk about. The Molten Maneuver, that's hot. All right. So you guys went and you compiled the data. You, after the primary, put it together. Damn.
Identify all the races, and then basically it's a lot of effort to get this information out. We send out mailings. and I'm not kidding. If I dug through my records, I could find the one I got that basically starts off with, "Would you like to be an elected libertarian in Pennsylvania?" And the next line says, "No, this is not a joke," because that's the initial attempt at the Molten Maneuver a couple of years ago. They got people calling saying, "Hey, is this a joke? Are you kidding?"
No.
But we send this out. We provide contact information. There's a gentleman down in Texas by the name of Wes Benedict who was an unbelievable volunteer. He volunteered his time, his effort, helping track all these people, get in touch with them, and literally we probably had if we had 200 people running in races, we probably had close to 500 or 600 contacting us and saying, okay, I got this, what do I do, how do I go about this? And we would
Hey,
send them
quick
an
question.
email saying,
What it, what
yes, go
it,
ahead.
what was like some of the most effective methods of outreach or getting people to engage?
uh, Honestly, we've tried email, we've tried social media, for something like this, and I think it's because it is politically related, it's election related. Sending out an actual physical letter to an address, and saying, hey, Ed, here is a race in your district that nobody is running for. If you go out and get signatures and run as a libertarian, you will almost certainly win.
That newsletter
Um,
provoked this discussion right here. I want everybody to
mhm.
sign up for the newsletter. I think that's get on the libertarian website, sign up. Why not, right? But these
Oh
people,
yeah,
Pennsylvania, if you're a student of the game, I would subscribe to their newsletter too. You know what I mean? For real. Do you guys have like a website, by the way?
we do. It's lppa.org.
Mhm.
I believe that actually for the first time, our newsletter is up, available digitally. I sorry, I don't have the link offhand to tell you what that is. Um, but yeah, we put out a quarterly newsletter. Again, that was I mentioned Kevin earlier. That was one of the things that he has spearheaded, and we
Okay.
just recently had that turned over to a committee. Um, so I mean, communication is really important.
Quick question about that
Um,
communication. Okay, so
yeah.
let's talk about Slack, right? I know Libertarian Party uses Slack, but after a
Hmm.
certain number of messages, they're going to start charging. So like,
Yes.
that costs. So there's like Discord, Gilded. I know like people's parties using Gilded.
Hmm.
What do you like? What makes you feel like Slack is worth it, or what tools? Like I know you said like Signal was popular, and Facebook groups are also another way. Look, it's
Yeah.
up to the I guess the organizers. Really, it's just a tool. But what are some of the best tools that you've found to like really, or what does Pennsylvania use? Like, did they have any technology? What's up? Share the sauce, bro. Share the sauce.
The the communication platform that works best internally, and this probably sounds stupid, but it's the honest truth. It's the one that everybody uses. It doesn't matter if you're talking Slack. It doesn't matter if you're talking Discord. It doesn't matter if you're talking Signal groups. I'm involved with different organizations that all use them in different ways.
Sure.
One that leans very heavily on Slack for internal communications. Others that everything is done by Signal groups.
Yeah.
Um,
One thing I'm
Groups
concerned
that
about though is that Action Network. I feel like that's a
mhm.
democratic setup. I don't like setting up on there. What do you think about that?
I have
Do you,
never actually even heard of them.
what do the
It
okay?
wouldn't surprise me.
What do
It honestly wouldn't
libertarians use?
surprise
What
me.
do you guys use? Do you guys have like your own system that you use for like keeping like you know voter information and like organizing like organizers and stuff, or you guys just do it all independently?
There's some that's done independently. There's some people that use there are databases and customer relationship management systems out there, Civi CRM, Nation Builder. Um, these are all different options, technological options. Basically, what it comes down to is at a state level or even a county level, you're going to be tracking contacts. Who do you know? Who's out there? Who's registered libertarian?
How strong
Uh,
and how essential are the shit? How strong and how essential are like ground? Because people said like Biden won the election, but he had no
mhm,
ground game, and I thought about it
right.
and I was like, damn, that's true. So you
Yeah.
guys won a whole shit ton of seats, right? Like, is it the ground
Mhm.
game? Is it sending the physical letters and then getting them to engage through whatever locally is going on, Facebook, Slack, whatever, and then
Absolutely, absolutely. Probably the one of the best counties I mentioned. I'm the Western Vice Chair in Pennsylvania. One of the best counties that we had uh, was Butler County, just north of Allegheny, where I live. Relatively young organization. They've just been an affiliate for a little over a year. Um, they hit the ground running, and I think they had 7 or 8 people get elected. They took the Molten Maneuver seriously. They went out and made an effort to make sure that they followed up with people. And what happened was we ended up with you know during the course of the election cycle, 7 or 8 people coming out to their meetings to say, hey, I got this letter. It invited me to come here.
did you guys do door
And
knocking as well, or you felt like that was too much?
we did some door knocking for some of our special elections in
Okay.
this past year. We achieved with our elections victories, not this past cycle, but the cycle before, we achieved minor party status in Pennsylvania. So we get notified of special elections.
Do you feel like it's
And
still worth
those,
it in the post-COVID environment?
oh yeah,
Oh yeah.
absolutely.
Okay. Cool.
Um,
Good
yeah,
to know.
you are in. Are you in New York City?
Yes, I am.
Okay, it's a very different environment. A lot of Pennsylvania, even a lot of what we would consider urban Pennsylvania, which is probably still, if you're from New York City, it's probably still in the sticks. Um, it is really kind of casual about the whole COVID thing at this point. Um,
Good.
we're not Florida. I mean, we're not there's still places where they ask you to wear a mask or whatever, but for the most part, I haven't really seen a whole lot of resistance to door knocking. And this was back in, I want to say, last year, back in April, May. We had a couple of special elections here in Western Pennsylvania. I helped out with. We did a lot of door knocking. I cannot recall one time when somebody said that they didn't want to talk because they were worried about COVID or anything like that. There were a couple of times when people made sure that they had masks on, but yeah, it's still effective. It's still a great way to get out and meet people, and it
So
is
yeah.
absolutely required if you're going to. If one of the other components of the Molten Maneuver is encouraging people to run write-in campaigns, and it's shocking how many times you can get out and literally just by being at the poll, handing somebody a piece of
Hmm.
paper or postcard or a business card with your name on it, say, "Hi, my name is Sam Robb, and I'm running for judge of elections. Would you write me in?" They'll do it.
Yeah.
If nobody else is out there handing out those cards, chances are you're going to get that 5 or 10 or 15 votes, and that's it. You're in.
Why
You
not?
win. Yep.
Sounds good. Awesome. Yo, I'm super impressed, man. You guys killed it out there. So is
Thank you.
that like do you guys actually control any districts?
No, we don't. We came very close to putting 2 counselors on the board in North Apollo, which is in Armstrong County, just a little bit northeast of me, which would have been really really fun, really exciting. Couple of great guys up there, Andrew
Yo,
Rita
you
and
set all
Ben
the fucking
Sievers.
alarm bells off in the Democrat Party over there and the Republican Party. All fucking alarm bells are on. They're like, "What the fuck?" They are pissed. They're like, "Oh my, what the hell's going on here?"
I
Yeah,
hope so. I hope so.
it is
I mean,
amazing.
because there is a point where you try and be as under the radar as you can,
It's not under the
but
radar no more, man. You guys took over
there
hundreds
comes
of
a
seats.
point
Like, come on, man.
you've got. This is what people talk about, right? One of the
Yeah.
things, most interesting things, when I was calling people to see if they were uh, interested in running as a Molten Maneuver candidate, I heard more times than I can tell you from somebody. This is fantastic. I can't run for whatever reason. I'm in school or I just had a baby or whatever. But this is fantastic. This is what libertarians need to be doing. You need to win at the local level,
Yo,
and
one.
that's
Yeah.
exactly what we've done. We've gone out there. We've shown that we can win at the local level. We now have 200 people that, in all honesty, after they spend a year or two serving in their local communities, they're going to be known. people are going to recognize their names when they decide that they're going to run for town council or city council or borough management or something like that. They're going to be a known quantity. It's no longer going to be, oh, they're libertarians. What are libertarians? It's going to be, no, that's Joe.
That's good.
And that's Mary. And then, so we're building our bench. We're endorsing each other. We actually have a couple of mayoral wins, even.
I did want to
Sally
ask something
Coombs.
about that, right?
Yeah.
Earlier you were talking about Blair County or one of
Mhm.
these like candidate wins. Was there some exceptional story and maybe some lesson that can be learned from something that happened? Go ahead.
We had a couple of really interesting ones. I started to mention Sally Coombs. She is now the mayor of Jersey Shore, Pennsylvania. Sally's an absolute amazing lady. She's our convention coordinator here in Pennsylvania. Our convention is actually being held just outside of Jersey Shore in her backyard up in Williamsport. It was really interesting seeing her talk about how she's interacting with the interacting with the town and the council and the employees, kind of preparing her way, and doing it in an incredibly sensible manner, I think, and one that really reflects well on libertarians. And she said, somebody asked her what her agenda is, and she's like, well, my first agenda is to get a feel for what's going on and understand how things work. And I think that's refreshing to a lot of people, is that there's somebody coming in who's not saying, well, I'm just going to change everything. We're going to make it this way and that way, and all of a sudden things are going to be different. No, she's coming in and doing what any adult, I think, would do, is look at the situation and say, hey, how am I going to, where are the problems, where are the pain points, how am I going to fix this and make things better for my constituents? We had a young lady down at, Beth is probably going to kill me for calling her a young lady, Beth Ann Rosca, who is a just amazing candidate. She ran for mayor down in why am I blanking now, in Chester County, and she ran a really hard campaign, really went for it, and did fantastic in the debates. Was just an absolute stellar candidate. Very upbeat, very good representative for the Libertarian Party, former Democrat. So basically, she did a really great op-ed talking about how she found her democratic ideals represented in the Libertarian Party, which was fantastic. And ended up, she didn't win. She didn't win. It was a very Democrat district, so it was an uphill battle. But she ran a good, solid professional campaign. She got her name out there, and one of the things that most impressed me about it was we actually saw her campaign manager put out some flyers that the Democrats were putting up about her and calling her the pink. I think it was the Pink Menace, because she wore pink. That was one of her campaign colors.
That's
And
good.
they got on the radar. They considered her a threat. That was fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, going from being completely ignored to being considered a threat. First they laugh at you, then they fight you, and so we're moving up that scale.
Okay, good to know. Yeah, appreciate
Yeah.
it. So, how can people? Do you like put out material yourself, or are you like a content producer, or do you anything like that? Do you have a social media?
No, I don't. I am very poor at that. Occasionally, I will publish something, um, but as far as it goes, I'm one of those guys that generally likes to work in the background. Um, I call the elections office when you one of our constables hasn't gotten his paperwork. I verify. I go through and verify information before we pass it on to people to take action on. Um, you know, there's some people out there that do a really good job of being the public face of the party. We have really one of the interesting things about that in Pennsylvania is we're shifting to the point where, excuse me, our candidates can become the public face of the party, which is
Good.
fantastic. And if you think about it, that's nobody cares nobody, even if you're a diehard Republican, right? You probably don't know who is on the Republican
Are there
National
any
Committee.
do you know of any initiatives that they're going to try to like push through, or they have anything they have like got cooking?
Our candidates,
Yeah, maybe like they, I don't know,
yeah.
maybe they decide to gang up together and get something pushed or something. Something was on the
Well,
edge, or you know what I mean, they can make it happen.
I know
That's a lot of seats.
we that's you're talking there about a couple of different approaches. One is you run your candidates, you run a hard race, you consider something winnable, and you go for it. We have a couple of candidates that are doing that. Joe Solosky is hopefully we're going to recognize him as our libertarian candidate. That's not a slam dunk. We still have to nominate him, but he has been basically running for 2 years, preparing to run for governor, and doing a fantastic job of it. We have other candidates like Liz Terwilliger, who's going to be running for Congress. Several other people that are interested in running for state or national level offices. And one of the great things there is that um, as libertarians, they are they have the same sort of flexibility uh, to engage with their potential voters that any libertarian does. If they're in a primarily Democrat district, right, they have the opportunity to talk about the things that those potential voters are interested in that the Libertarian Party aligns with. Things like um, civil rights, things like you know taking the local police force and turning them from law enforcement back into peacekeeping officers, a bunch of different categories they can talk to people on. Same thing if you're talking about someone who is a libertarian candidate out in the campaigning out in a more rural district, for example, for a PA state rep position. um, I can tell you, it's Pennsylvania. Talk about gun control. Talk
Yeah.
about how we need to get back to some of our roots as a constitutional government, and it's a much more Republican leaning message. But what's great about that is that you can have a libertarian running against a Democrat and being more of a classic social liberal, right?
You
Because
know,
that's where the roots of libertarianism are.
I
Or
have
you
to
can
admit,
be a
yeah, there's something about libertarianism that just like really like honestly still confuses me, even though I'm supportive of libertarianism, right?
Mhm.
And the thing is that some, as we know, some people don't like libertarianism, right? And one thing that one of them said was they're like cats; they just want to like run around without anything, right? But if you take a look,
Mhm.
right, the libertarians are fantastically successful at like organizing and getting things done, which kind of like and maybe even more successful than the groups that this person was a part of. So I mean, we like why? What makes the libertarians so successful despite their libertarian ideology? How are they able to organize so successfully? I am also like, I'm honestly mystified a little bit myself.
It's it really is like herding cats sometimes. We don't always agree. I've told people if you put two libertarians in a room with a mirror, you're going to get three arguments. Um, that's just the way we are. And particularly, one of the things that you see very easily is that, especially if you're talking about online presence, it's very easy to argue. That seems to be what the main purpose of Facebook and Twitter and whatnot is, to get into arguments. And there's always going to be people out there that just like to fight. What I found with the Libertarian Party is when you get together with people on, like you said before, on the ground, um, when you actually engage with people face to face and doing something, uh, libertarians are some of the most amazing people in the world. They will literally give you the shirt off their back. Um, we have a gentleman up in New York, Tom Queter. He's run for office, currently running for office up there, and Tom is wheelchair bound. His wheelchair is incredibly sophisticated, and it was entirely crowdfunded by libertarians.
Cool.
People love him and pitched in and helped make that a reality.
Yo, I need to
Um,
get at him because we are right now. I'm working with my man Mark Safman. He's a disabilities
mhm.
advocate. We actually got back from Albany, and the thing is that since January 2nd, we've been having an ongoing every weekday. He's been in front of City Hall from 8:30 o'clock till 10 a.m. protesting for a co-navigator program. It's still ongoing tomorrow, and after that we're going to National Action Network to get. Oh, so yo, we should roll together with the Libertarians, right? Yeah. Yo, there's a party coming up next week with the People's Party. Definitely would like to see you guys, some of you guys come through. And yo, I'm just so amazed. Yo, you guys made history right there. This is historical, man. Yeah? Yo, congratulations, man.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yo, it's crazy. All right, so, yo, I'm just kind of like overwhelmed by the whole, like, you know. Wow.
Anything else I can answer for you? Any other questions you guys have?
I'm sure like some, we definitely got to set up again. I'm sure that some of my other, some people have comments and stuff like that, and if you guys have questions, and I'm sure my audience will want to find out. So, hey, thanks so much for your time. I think this is one of the most interesting interviews I've had in a long time. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir. It's a pleasure to talk to you. It really is.
All right,
Thanks
God
for getting in
bless.
touch with me.
Thank you.
It's a dark day in our nation when high-level authorities will seek to use every method to silence dissent. The truth must be told.
And if you want the truth, you need to check out independent media producers just like myself, DJ L7. You should subscribe and hit the bell icon to get notifications when I release a new video.
The truth of these
We are
words
on all
is
the major
beyond
platforms.
doubt.
That includes Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and of course YouTube. Unfortunately, we have definitely seen that these mainstream outlets will cave to corporate interests, so we encourage you to join our independently moderated communities of Reddit and Discord. We also encourage you to subscribe to us on BitChute and Daily Motion so you can see the content that YouTube doesn't want us to let you see. Hey, now it's time for the most important part of the video. That's right. It's time for us to tell you about the Taking Action Group. Do you need an activist? Or maybe there's no activists around willing to help you with your cause and you need to learn to become an activist. That's exactly why we're here. Every week we get up with people from across the nation, in fact even sometimes internationally, and we develop strategies and a game plan to address the issues that are affecting all of us. Every week myself from New York City and of course my co-host Lisa from Los Angeles provide a coast-to-coast perspective on what's going on in the country. If you want to donate to help out with expenses, travel, equipment, you know, stuff like that, then I definitely appreciate it, and you could hit us off at Venmo or PayPal. Thanks a lot. Hey, by the way, we also have a merch store, so check it out. Oh my goodness, it seems like you've reached the end of the video, so make sure you check out some of our other videos, make sure you subscribe. This is your last chance to do so thanks a lot, and looking forward to seeing you on the next one. Hope you guys enjoyed. Please comment below if you have any questions or issues you'd like me to address. And if you're an activist, the time to make things happen is now.